before, we are the party of the trade unionists, and I was listening to some of the speeches in that tent, and the downright hypocrisy of people standing on that platform saying they were fighting for pensions to be paid at the level that they're meant to be paid at. It's a downright hypocrisy in this Labour Party. Our next speaker is Alan Brown for the PCS union. Alan. Thanks very much, Jimmy. Sounds better with the band inside, to be honest. Brothers and sisters, I think it's interesting today as we stand on International Workers' Day. The trade unionists up and down the country are finding and rediscovering that when we battle together, we are stronger. When we come together and fight together, we are stronger. This has been happening over the course of the last couple of years across the public sector. And the issue that Jimmy just mentioned, the issue of pensions. But millions of workers have stood up and said no. We will not accept the attacks on our pensions whilst the parliamentarians and the bosses are retiring into a life of luxury. The question that we have for the parliamentarians, for the Tony Blairs, for the Gordon Browns of this world is which side do you stand on? Do you stand for your own pension where after 25 years you get a huge pension based on your huge inflated wages in Westminster? Do you stand with the bosses, with the Digby Jones of this world, who when their pensions were attacked in the public sector said we were being too greedy? The public sector workers and civil servants were retiring on gold-plated pensions. Well, those gold-plated pensions were an average of £4,000 a year. When Digby Jones retires in June from his £300,000 a year job in the CBI, Digby Jones retires to £100,000 a year pension. But they're still quite happy with that. Digby Jones has got a wee part-time job, and it is a part-time job with Deloitte, but he's going to be earning more than £300,000 a year. And these people have got the cheek to tell us that we have been greedy. But which side are you on, Tony Blair? Which side are you on, Gordon Brown? Because as far as we're concerned, we know which side you're on. You're on the boss's side, and it's the trade unionists and the workers of this country that are standing up to defend our pensions. Because when they tell us there's a pensions crisis, it's absolutely false. They can find the money to bomb the hell out of Iraq, yet they can't find the money to allow working people to retire in decency and with a decent standard of living. We're also finding workers coming together in the public sector to defend jobs and services. We've recently had last week over 90,000 workers in the Department for Work and Pensions standing up against the government's modernisation agenda. A modernisation agenda that talks about 104,000 job cuts in the civil service, 30,000 jobs in the DWP. It's not about modernisation. And if it is about modernisation, it's about modernising us back to the 19th century with private companies, with charities and voluntary sector, and people having to beg for some money, for some subsistence, and that's not going to be accepted by our union. We stand together with the unemployed, with the sick, with the old. We demand those services remain, and we demand that the offices are staffed to a level that can allow a proper welfare system to be maintained in this country. We stand together with all workers in the public sector, those in the education sector, where we've seen the PFI schools coming in that are nothing more than a money-making sham for Blair's friends in big business. We stand together with the nurses and the health sector workers, those who attacked the minister at the recent service and a